Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone.
Welcome back, folks. Today we return to the magical world where being offended is a sport, and the gold medal goes to whoever cries the loudest. Sit back and enjoy the spectacle. First up, the woke interviewer comes in acting like he's about to educate the world on presidents, identity labels, and whatever buzzwords he memorized that morning.
Do you think that the country will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down. You know Michelle is
I'm sorry, she's a what?
a transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
But this older lady steamrolls him without breaking a sweat. She tells him to relax, then hits him with a reality check so sharp he practically forgets his own question. He tries to clarify and she doubles down, leaving him blinking like he just rebooted mid-sentence. Next, take a look at this one. The street interview kicks in, and the woke anti-gun duo tries to sound deep until one of them accidentally bulldozes her own argument.
What can I use against a racist or someone that wants to come and break into my home and murder me?
A knife.
If they have a gun, because criminals don't follow laws, that's not how it works. Drugs are illegal.
Okay, and people still do drugs, so why,
That's a good point. You just literally dissolved your own argument.
Barely has to say a word. The girl walks herself straight into a perfect self-cancellation, and the realization hits harder than anything she claimed to oppose. Now, Walsh is sitting there, calm as a monk, while this woke debater tries to build an argument with nothing but buzzwords and panic blinks.
I don't think I claimed that every child would benefit from that.
Well, no, I didn't say you did.
You
said puberty blockers.
You did.
You said puberty blockers are life-saving. What evidence do you have for that?
They can be.
So
the
how do you
evidence
know?
is the encounters with patients who have had these procedures done, and it has saved their, I don't want to say it saved their lives, but it has made their lives better. I can't confirm whether or not they're alive right this second, but there are children that it has helped. So what do you have to say for the happy trans community who has benefited from these procedures? That's my question.
I guess what I have
for
to
you.
say is that your entire question is built on a whole stack of false premises that you can't begin to even remotely defend. So it's a faulty question from the start. I reject your premise. I absolutely reject that there are any kids who need to be chemically castrated in order to be happy.
Okay, let's...
I reject that.
She starts confident, then trips over her own sentences so hard she practically apologizes to herself mid-argument. By the time Walsh answers, the whole room can see it. She set up her own trap, walked straight into it, and the audience finished the cancellation for her. Comping up, these two guys start off handing out moral lectures like candy.
Could you ever see yourself housing a migrant in your home?
I think illegal immigration is just people trying to find freedom.
Our great-great-great-parents, they started somewhere, so why can't they?
This would be for your actual home for you to take in a migrant yourself.
I can't do that. I literally live in a 2-bedroom.
Talking big about compassion and open doors, right up until the interviewer offers them a pen for their own address. The switch up is instant. All that grand virtue turns into nervous giggles and excuses, and the hypocrisy is loud. Here comes a fresh one. We jump in with Jeremy already looking like he aged 10 years just listening to woke theatrics.
These woke weirdos want to live in a world of complete delusion where everybody around them is constantly agreeing with them and affirming them. Yeah, that's not how it works.
hi. Why did you turn your comments off? Well... glad you asked. So first, I would like to say that no, it is not because I got too much hate and couldn't handle it. I promise, I am okay. But I do appreciate all of the people that sent me kind words and lovely DMs because it means more to me than y'all will ever know. And I truly love y'all, so much, for real. But I turned comments off because there's a bigger plan already in motion, baby, that only I know about. So stay tuned, baby.
Then this TikToker pops up waving at the camera like they're auditioning for a kids show, flipping between shy whispers and full volume meltdown in the same breath. By the time they start bragging about some secret master plan, the only thing on display is how fast a woke act collapses under its own drama. This time, we've got a meltdown in full bloom. A female student storms in, chest out, pointing fingers, breathing like she's about to lift a car, demanding the campus eject Crowder for daring to have a sign.
Let you back on this campus.
It's a public sidewalk.
So nobody invited you here? Officers, if nobody invited him here, can we ask him to leave this campus? Is this being handled?
Steven, you're a hero.
You're a hero? Who the said that? Raise your hand! Raise your hand if you're so stupid! Have you ever been... Then shut up!
I'm gonna have to interrupt. That's a good question.
That would be awesome. But like, why is he allowed on our campus if this isn't even like an organized event? No, I am not part of this event. You're not mad?
I understand.
So if I called you and said somebody to me, you wouldn't be mad?
Well, you just twisted my words and I didn't say that.
Culture exists, and you're telling me 1 in 1,000? I can tell you that's... Do you see 1,900 people standing here? I can guarantee you, multiple people right here have been, and this is not 1,900 people.
Okay, how can you guarantee that?
Every accusation she throws at the officer and the crowd bounces right off. By the time Crowder calmly asks, okay, how can you guarantee that? The whole performance collapses into pure chaos. Up next is a mask meltdown caught on the street. A protester tries to throw shade, complaining about the interviewer's smell, thinking she's dropping a savage burn.
What's wrong?
You just smell so bad.
Yeah. Is that why you have the mask on?
I mean, it's definitely helping.
It's helping, right? So that might be your own breath that you're smelling.
But the interviewer flips it instantly, pointing out it's probably her own breath trapped in the mask. The protester freezes, sunglasses hiding the horror. Now check this out. A resistance warrior wearing red lipstick, claiming it's a historic protest move against Hitler.
Hello, it's the Master. The reason I have red lipstick on is because I'm at the demonstration in Traverse City. There are thousands of us. And red lipstick, I was informed last night by my friend Jen, was a form of resistance when Hitler was trying to take over the world. He didn't like women wearing red lipstick. So I've decided red lipstick. Everybody put on red lipstick to show resistance against you-know-who. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, over and out.
The man delivers it like he's about to rewrite history, passionately nodding and lecturing the camera. By the end, he's urging everyone to slap on lipstick to fight Trump. Here's a wild one showing a guest getting absolutely cornered by Jesse Lee Peterson on what counts as thinking like a woman.
Do you like being a man?
Yes.
You do like being a man, but thinking like a woman.
I don't think I think like a woman. I think like a man.
No, you don't. I'm here to tell you, you don't.
I think what you're trying to say is I appear to be thinking in feminine ways.
No, you think like a woman.
I don't think so.
I want to be real clear.
Okay.
You think like a woman. Give me another example of this.
Donald Trump feeling cavalier about talking about grabbing women inappropriately.
But he did it as locker room talk, and that most men have done that. You
and
never had that conversation?
Oh, yes. Let me start off by saying...
You have had that same conversation, right?
I haven't had that conversation.
But you have talked about what you would like to do to women in the privacy of men, when just you and other men around. In your lifetime, you have talked about what you would like to do to women, right?
If I understand what you're talking about, yes.
You have had it. And so does that make you a...
Of course.
Jesse calmly lays out the trap, asking if the guest thinks like a woman while dissecting his words. The guest tries to wiggle and intellectualize, but Jesse keeps it tight, methodically pointing out every slip. By the end, the guest is nodding yes to being without even realizing how completely he just walked into the logic. Here's another one showing an academic getting absolutely flustered while trying to lecture Jesse Lee Peterson.
Just because somebody has a black friend, a black child, a black spouse, none of that means that they're, inherently not going to engage in racism.
And so if a black man or woman had a white husband, white wife, white children, blah, 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 would that black person still be a racist?
No, because I don't believe that black people can be racist.
What's wrong with you?
So let me explain.
What's wrong with you? Tell me what's wrong with you.
There's nothing wrong with me, but I think there's a distinction between racial prejudice and racism.
You
right?
have
So I
a
believe that-
degree, don't you?
I have several degrees.
You have proven my
let me
point.
finish.
I've interviewed tons of educated people, and I noticed that all educated people with degrees have no common sense.
I know that the undercurrent of your statement is that you're implying that somehow I don't have common sense, which I disagree with. However,
but where is it?
Jesse calmly dismantles the guest's educated argument on racism, repeatedly asking simple, blunt questions that expose the contradictions. She tries to intellectualize and parse her words, but by the end, Jesse lands the line about degrees versus common sense, leaving her looking confused and completely roasted by her own overthinking. Here's a good one, showing a woke student trying to cancel Charlie Kirk over an ICE hat.
You mentioned that you don't try to promote wish misery upon anyone, but you bring an ICE hat.
Let's talk about ICE. Let's talk, sure.
Yeah.
What about ICE don't you like?
A violent organization.
Not
right?
violent.
Yes, they're violent.
I'll tell you why I like ICE. They're the #1 agency that goes after child. #1. They arrest tens of thousands of child every single year. They also go after MS-13. They also go after terrorists that are here in the country domestically. ICE was formed after 9/11 to go after international threats that are here domestically. They get such a bad rap, and you actually meet with the agents, and you see what they do every single day. It's pretty extraordinary work. Now, they do go after people that have visa overstays. It has nothing to do with race. An illegal immigrant is not a race. If you are here illegally, you should not be here despite your race. The immigration debate is demagogued by politicians by being a racial issue. It's nothing to do with race and everything to do with the rule of law.
Charlie calmly fires back, breaking down ICE's role in fighting child traffickers, gangs, and domestic terrorists. The student looks confident at first, but slowly melts under facts, awkwardly smiling and shifting weight as Charlie proves that legality and safety matter more than performative outrage. This time we got a protester confidently claiming to listen to science before getting blindsided.
What facts are you marching for?
I would be in favor of listening to science, not suppressing it.
Like there's only 2 genders?
You're wrong if you think there's only 2.
Owen Schroyer calmly flips the science argument back on the protester, asking about the obvious biological fact of 2 genders. The protester freezes, flustered, stumbling over a defensive reply, capturing pure chaos and that classic woke logic versus reality moment. Next up, Adam Conover is trying to defend giving hormones to kids, while Joe Rogan calls out the logic.
Why do you have to give them hormones to make them more of a girl?
Because... I'm sorry, can you expand on the question?
It's a simple question. If you say that the child thinks it's a girl, so you're going to give the child hormones.
Mm-hmm.
If the child thinks it's a girl, let it be a girl. Like, you don't have, why are you adding hormones? If you're shooting hormones into a child and you're affecting the child's development, you're saying that's not a choice. That's nonsense. Of course it's a choice. You're choosing to chemically change this child's body. You're choosing to inject things into this child's body on a regular basis that are going to radically affect the physical development of their body.
Yeah.
And you're saying that this isn't a choice. Well, it's definitely a choice to do that.
I have a friend who has a trans kid. Don't know the kid's exact age, but we're in the age range that we're talking about. And he's explained that my child from a very young age consistently said, I am a girl, and has never contradicted themselves.
Rogan methodically lays out the simple reality. If a child thinks it's a girl, chemically altering their body is still a choice. Adam stumbles, nervously citing anecdotes and hand-waving details while Rogan stares, unbothered, exposing how convoluted and overcomplicated the woke argument really is. Here's a good one, exposing woke logic getting shredded in real time. Senator Mullen patiently lays out the cold, hard reality.
The plastics industry must be stopped.
What's going to replace your glasses? They're made of plastic.
Maybe.
No,
I don't know what they're made out of.
They are. And I just point out some things here because I just want to be realistic when we're having conversations. Because when statements are made like this, I just want to open people's eyes and say, well, okay, that's easy to say, but what's the solution? Your water bottle in front of you.
This one.
Yes, that's plastic.
Right. So
Right.
I would say to your
cell phone-
question that I would first be concerned about single-use plastics, and then we can talk about alternatives to this.
Your cell phone there, is it plastic?
The cases.
The water that you filled that water bottle up with, where'd you fill that water bottle up?
A water filling station.
The piping coming to it. Now, you have a couple of choices with the piping. We could go back to using wood, but then you have to line it in chemical. Or we could go back and use lead, because we used to have water piping that was lead. That was harmful to us. We go back to copper. Copper has to be mined, and everybody wants to stop mining in the U.S. So you use plastic.
Her attempts to argue single-use alternatives crumble as he methodically shows how modern infrastructure and everyday life depend on it. By the end, her smug confidence is replaced with awkward silence as the logic sinks in. Next, here's a woke logic hitting a wall as a female host tries to deflect a tough question by attacking the guest.
I love gay people and black people and Asian people and Native American people. And this is no particular order.
No, I rank. I love
Okay.
black people more than anybody else.
What's second? That's tougher to say, isn't it? That's tougher to say, isn't it?
You know what? Your mouth kind of reminds me of like a person from Whoville.
That's
because
fine.
you like lip is not there.
Well, I
But,
can't
like,
help that.
No, you can't. But like, it's just like
Body
Whoville-esque.
shaming's fine until it's all about the weight, right? Goodness, here come the comments.
Calm and collected, he flips it back on her, pointing out the double standard in body shaming. Her smug little insult evaporates instantly as he sits back with a smirk, leaving her logic in pieces. Now, watch this as Jordan Peterson completely shuts down the modern woke history narrative.
Same opportunities, always.
No, I'm basically saying that all along, hardly anyone had any opportunities. I mean, if you look at the history of the world, things really started to shift in about 1895, but before 1895, the typical person in the West lived on less than $1 a day in today's money, which is about 2/3 the UN cutoff for abject poverty by today's standards. And so what happened through most of the history of the world is that men and women struggled mightily together, sometimes at each other's throats, but mostly cooperatively, to keep the wolf from the door and the tyrant at bay. Life was very, 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 very difficult. And the fact that we survived it all meant that fundamentally we cooperated despite the fact that we're rife with stupidity, ignorance, and malevolence.
Peterson calmly explains that everyone lived in extreme poverty before 1895, showing that men and women struggled together just to survive, leaving the host and Annie Loof blinking in stunned silence. Next up, we've got people who love to talk about helping others until it actually costs them a single dollar.
Would you support free college for undocumented people in this country?
Immigrants deserve education as a human right. This country has more than enough money.
I'm glad you said that because something we're doing today is we are trying to raise money. So would you be willing to give some money for that tuition?
I definitely would, but your girl is broke.
I don't have cash on me.
Do you guys have Venmo?
I haven't eaten in 2 days because
Yep.
I have no money.
The fact
It
that-
shouldn't be my duty to raise the money.
The interviewer casually asked if they support free college for illegal immigrants, and immediately the tough question hits. Would you actually donate your own money? Cue the awkward stares, nervous laughter, and excuses that crumble faster than a cheap paper cup. Coming up is a classic case of woke people tripping over their own story.
How many biological males are housed in female prisons under BOP?
Senator, I don't have those numbers in front of me today.
Why don't you? Did you know you were going to be asked that today?
No, Senator.
Oh, you didn't. Have you been asked that before?
On the record, Senator?
Yes.
I don't recall.
You were asked a year ago in writing, and you failed to answer it in writing. You knew you were going to be asked it today, but you don't want to answer it. Senator Lee asked, why don't you report the numbers? You don't report the numbers because you don't want people to know the numbers. So the fact that you sit there and say, I don't know, he said 1,300. Is that number in the ballpark?
No, that would be a much larger number.
Which is a larger number?
So the number of individuals who even identify as transgender at the Federal Bureau of Prisons is around 1,700. And the number of individuals that are housed in institutions not conforming with their biological are very low.
Are we talking 100? Are we talking 10?
I think we will look at the numbers. We're talking less than 10.
The director tries the old I don't have the numbers line while under fire from Senator Cruz, only to slowly admit she does know the numbers less than 10. The backtracking is painfully obvious, the stammering is real, and the contradiction hits so hard it's impossible not to cringe. Finally, check this out because you're not ready for the level of confusion about gender that's coming.
A biological man who has implants is mad that someone called him a biological man with a beard. This is a clown world.
So I got served today at the pharmacy, and I'm not saying men can't look like this because please go off, kings, but like, I'm not doing damage to masculinity. I think y'all are when you serve me, when you call me a man, right? Like, I'm not a man. don't consider me for the pool of men. And maybe the people who are like, oh, masculinity is in decline, well, stop thinking I'm doing anything with it. I'm not part of that equation. Count me out.
Make sure to leave a like on this video if you haven't yet. Subscribe or follow down below for more daily news.
We've got a bearded TikTok warrior furious that anyone would identify them by, well, the beard. They ramble about how they are not part of masculinity while proving the opposite with every frame. By the end, they are canceling themselves so hard that the memes barely need to help. And that concludes another episode of people destroying their own movement with zero help from the outside. If you enjoyed watching the chaos unfold, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. There will always be more. After all, outrage never sleeps.